There's a lot to get to tonight. We'll be following the big races for you throughout the evening. Of course, the race for president, along with Northeast Wisconsin's congressional seats, plus state assembly and Senate races. Once the polls close at 8, we'll bring you those local and state results as they come in, updating a full list of results at WBAY.com and on our First Alert app. A lot of people are in line to vote, but people who cast their ballots early are already having their votes counted.
This is happening at central count sites, including one in Green Bay at the KI Convention Center. That's where Sarah Thompson joined us live, kicking off our Your Voice, Your Vote coverage tonight. Sarah.
Bill and Cammie, this central count site behind me is one of 39 across the state where all those absentee ballots that were cast ahead of Election Day are now being tabulated. They have been since early this morning. Now, this is a year where we're all getting used to doing things just a little bit different, and this would be one of them. I'm going to step out of the way so you can take a look at what's going on behind me here. Poll workers and clerks are spread out to help with social distancing in the ballroom here at the KI, so they have plenty of room to count those ballots, and it is a daunting task they have. They are tabulating a record number of ballots cast ahead of Election Day. In the city of Green Bay, the mayor says 55% of registered voters actually voted early, with 32,000 ballots returned and needing to be counted today. They started that process at 7 o'clock this morning, and they will be going well into the night. Now, how long has yet to be determined. Part of the reason those absentee ballots that are still out there that are not returned yet, there are some of those. And if you have one, listen up. You can fill out that absentee ballot and deliver it to elections officials, but they want you to know it needs to be dropped off by 7 p.m. in those ballot boxes so they have time to transport it here and make sure it is here by 8 o'clock tonight so that it can be counted. Now, so far, elections officials tell me everything here seems to be going pretty smoothly. We will be keeping tabs, though, throughout the night and be the first to alert you if there is anything going on, good or bad, here at this central count site. Reporting live in Green Bay, Sarah Thompson, Action 2 News.
Thanks, Sarah. And Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich is giving an update right now on how things have been going across the city today. Let's take you live right now to City Hall and listen in on the mayor's news conference.
So yes, with the thousands of ballots that are going through, you're going to see some jams here and there. But last I checked, all 3 of those machines were up and running and tabulating ballots.
And then that 12,000 number is obviously a huge increase since the 3,000 number we saw. So do you expect that speed just because of getting used to the machines, getting in a groove? How can we take that and look forward?
Yeah, I think that's right. And there's a lot of prep work that goes into preparing the ballots before they start going into the machines. So I think that held us back a little bit in the morning hours. And like you said, I think the longer people do this, the better groove that they get in. And you just, you figure out some efficiencies here and there. So yeah, hoping that things continue to accelerate a little bit. But we're, in all likelihood, we're looking at early morning hours at this point.
That's my next question. Is there an estimated time that we're expecting? Is there a number to throw out there?
Yeah, I wish I could offer a real precise estimate, but I think we're looking at the early morning hours of Wednesday.
So that kind of brings you to poll workers. Obviously, they signed up usually for the whole day.
Yeah.
But are there shifts if it goes longer than 12 hours, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so we did design the central count with 3 shifts in mind. So we do have a number of shifts with regard to central count. That's not necessarily the case with our polling locations. A lot of people signed up for that 13-hour day, which we're very appreciative of. That those shifts have been broken up a little bit in some cases, but the vast majority of our polling location poll workers have signed up for a really long day.
You've been listening live to a news conference from Green Bay City Hall. Mayor Eric Genrich. You heard our reporter Brittany Schmidt asking questions, and the mayor will be given one more update later this evening at about 9 o'clock, and we'll keep you posted on that. Meantime, voters made their way to 16 different polling places in the city of Green Bay today.
Many of those locations experienced long lines when they first opened this morning. Kenzie Amundsen joins us now live outside the Johnsonville Tailgate Village near Lambeau Field after spending the day at polling places talking with voters. Mackenzie.
Bill and Cammie, you can see there's not much of a line out here right now at the Johnsonville Tailgate Village, though a small line did start forming here within the last hour. The long lines from earlier this morning did fade away with a steady stream of voters trickling in here at this polling place and at other locations around the city throughout the day. The voters I spoke to tell me they were pleasantly surprised with how smooth their experience was at the polls, in and out in less than 15 minutes this afternoon at some locations. locations. But they tell me they were prepared to wait as long as it took to cast their ballot in this election, wanting to make sure their voices were heard.
Our country is going to go in two different directions. And I want to put my input in to ensuring that what I believe is in the direction to our economy should, life in general should go into. So that's basically it. I have to be out here.
You do need to bring a photo ID, and masks are strongly encouraged if you do still plan to head out to vote tonight. The polls are open until 8, so as long as you are in line at your polling location before that time, you will get a chance to cast your ballot. Reporting live in Green Bay, Mackenzie Amundsen, Action 2 News.
Mackenzie, thank you. Live on our Oshkosh Skycam, the sun goes down, but a busy night just getting started. Lots of election news still ahead here on Action 2 News at 5. We'll take you live to counting locations in Neenah and Grand Chute and have updates on polling places in Appleton.
No clouds in that sky. Today's weather does not seem like November 3rd. The temperatures were just lovely, and we loved it too. Severe weather specialist Brad Spackwitz joining us now with a look at that first forecast. Brad.
All right, these are just the preliminary highs. We'll have the official ones tonight at 10. But as you can see, most of us into the 60s. Hey, a 70 there at Sheboygan, 72 at Shawano, 74 at Wapaka, 71 there at Watoma, Iron Mountain, Michigan, 70 degrees for daytime highs. Temperatures have dropped a little bit, but still incredibly mild for this time of the year. A lot of 60s showing up, 50s in a few spots. Marinette, Sister Bay, Antigo there with upper 50s. A little bit of a south-southwest wind, still between 5 and 15 miles per hour. And of course, the skies have been and continue to be clear. We are headed into a clear and very mild evening for November. And believe it or not, our beautiful stretch of weather has more days ahead that you will love. We'll check them out day by day coming up in a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Brad. An update now from Madison. The Badgers will have to miss yet another game because of the coronavirus outbreak among the team. Bailey Burmaster is now in the studio with the latest on that. Bailey.
Bill, Wisconsin announced earlier today that the game against Purdue on Saturday has been canceled. That is 2 straight games for the Badgers that have been canceled due to COVID-19. Along with the game, team activities remain paused indefinitely as the number of cases within the program increase. The Nebraska game was canceled after 12 positive tests. 2 of those were starting quarterback Graham Mertz and head coach Paul Chris. The number then rose to 22, 12 players and 10 staff members. And as of this morning, that number now sits at 27 as the outbreak continues. However, athletic director Barry Alvarez says they are doing everything possible to get the virus under control.
There's no one wants to be on that field any more than I do, but I'm not going to lose track of priorities, which is we don't leave ourselves much wiggle room right now. And we know that. Hopefully we can get this corralled and we can get back on the field and playing.
With 2 canceled games, Wisconsin is now teetering on the brink of not being able to compete in the Big Ten championship. A team must play 6 games to be eligible. Wisconsin only has 5 more games on the schedule, meaning the team must play Michigan on November 14th if they want a chance at the title.
Back to Your Voice, Your Vote election night coverage now. More than just candidates on the ballot today. Many local school districts also putting referendums up for a vote, like this $37 million plan in Clintonville we told you about back in September. Other districts include Oshkosh, Southern Duluth, Sevastopol, Ripon, Amro, Marinette, and Iola, Scandinavia. Voters' decisions on those proposals will also be scrolling with the results at the bottom of your screen throughout the evening and at WBAY.com. When we come back, a look at how voting and counting are going in the Fox Valley.
Next on Action 2 News at 5, more live team coverage and an update on Outagamie County's handling of misprinted ballots.
I'm already tracking your weekend. You're going to love it. A lot of sunshine, a little breezy, but still mild, well into the upper 60s all the way into Saturday and Sunday. We will talk more about this and the other big weather change right around the corner. Details after the break.
Turning now to Outagamie County, where much like Brown County, voter turnout is high.
In addition to those large numbers of people voting in person today, absentee early voting was also very popular. Outagamie County is also dealing with that misprinted ballot issue on more than 12,000 absentee ballots. Emily Matesic joining us now live from Grand Chute, where those absentee ballots are being counted. Emily.
Yeah, Kimmy and Bill, I'm at Grand Chute's a central count where all of its absentee ballots, more than 10,000, have been counted today. A few poll workers remain here in case some last-minute absentee ballots do get in before that 8 o'clock deadline. And while it is much quieter now, earlier today, this place was buzzing. According to the Grand Chute town clerk, she'd normally have about a dozen people working here counting absentee ballots. Today at peak, she had more than 70 election inspectors. Just to give you an idea of the number of absentee ballots processed in just Grand Chute, I'm told the town has more than 15,200 registered voters. The clerk says more than 10,000 of those people voted absentee, and all of those ballots needed to be counted. As we first told you last month, Outagamie County had that issue with the ballot misprint, so any of those ballots that were opened today needed to be duplicated by poll workers. In Grand Chute, about 2,200 ballots needed to be duplicated, and crews were done with that process before 3 o'clock this afternoon. Now, in checking with clerks in other municipalities across the area here in Outagamie County, they say things have been running very smoothly. I did speak with the Village of Kimberly clerk, who told me that they had 82% voter turnout both in person and absentee combined, and with the help of extra election inspectors, they were able to process more than 1,500 of those duplicate ballots. For now, we're live in Grand Chute. Emily Matesic, Action 2 News.
Emily, thank you. Now let's go to Dakota Sherrick. She's at a polling place in Appleton. Dakota.
Here at St. Matthew, the line is long, going down the block. The election inspector here says that their line started before polls even opened this morning, and it just has not stopped. She also knows that a lot of the people coming in today are also registering to vote as well. And not only are there a lot of voters to assist, but also hundreds of absentee ballots to count. However, this particular location is also processing a lot of the ballots with the small nick issue, checking each by hand to ensure everyone gets their vote counted.
Just everybody be patient for all the ballots to be counted all over the United States. Be patient. It's a big process, and this year it's been a different process for people. And in Wisconsin, for all of those who had to have the ballot that had a little flaw in it, everybody's doing their best. Your vote will be counted correctly.
And despite the long lines and the extra steps they are having to take, Miller hopes to have all the votes counted here by about 10 o'clock tonight. Live in Appleton, Dakota Sherrick, Action 2 News.
Thanks, Dakota. Our check on voting in the Fox Valley continues now with Jason Zimmerman, live from Nina's consolidated polling site. Jason.
Cami, once again, Nina consolidated all 6 of its polling sites under a single roof here at the former Shopko store, which has about 100,000 square feet. And as you can see right behind me, plenty of room for social distancing. Now, the mayor tells me that there was a long line this morning, but since then, the wait to vote has been rather short. About 20 poll workers are also working at City Hall processing absentee ballots, which is a central site. As of 2:30 this afternoon, they were more than halfway through about 9,000 ballots that have been cast. So at that pace, counting should be done between 10 and 11 o'clock tonight. In-person voting, though, should be counted well before that.
Mayor Coffert does a great job with this large area. A lot of social distancing, so I felt safe. I just feel in person is the best way to go. I've been doing it all my life this way, so absentee wasn't for me this year.
I did speak to the Winnebago County Clerk's office a short time ago. So far, there have been no major issues anywhere, with the exception of a few machines that have jammed. Reporting live in Nina, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.
Here's Bailey Burmaster from Action 2 Sports. Brought to you by the Orthopedic and Sports Institute of the Fox Valley, home for robotic surgery for hips and knees.
On Monday, Packers rookie running back A.J. Dillon tested positive for COVID-19. And this morning, it has been confirmed by multiple sources that running back Jamal Williams and rookie linebacker Kamal Martin have both been deemed high-risk close contact and designated to COVID reserve, meaning those two, along with Dillon, are all out for Thursday's game against the 49ers, making the running back room a little slim. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reported there is pessimism that Aaron Jones will return Thursday. The team is being very cautious with him. However, if he can't go, the Packers are up for the challenge.
Well, I think as a competitor, you're always excited about the challenges. You love having your guys in there at full strength for sure. But yeah, there is that fun challenge of going in there without some of those guys and trying to find a way to win. I think that's the beauty in this league. It's ever changing, and there's different challenges to be attacked every single week.